Welcome to another episode of HR Gamechangers. I'm Dave.
And I'm Louisa. Great to be here.
Today we're diving into a really critical shift happening within the infrastructure that powers our digital world data centers.
Yeah, it's fascinating. For years, all the talk was energy, energy, energy.
Exactly. But now, an insightful article by Brett Beauchamp Russell highlights a new bottleneck, maybe an even bigger one: talent.
It really is a major evolution, Dave. There's this growing recognition that, it's not just about the racks and the servers.
Right.
The people actually designing, building, and operating these complex facilities, they're absolutely crucial.
Couldn't agree more. So, the big question we want to explore is this. Global data center capacity, it's expected to double by 2027. That means hundreds of thousands of new jobs.
A staggering number.
Can the workforce actually keep pace? That's our mission today, understanding the challenges and also, importantly, the innovative solutions popping up.
Definitely.
Okay, so the scale of this demand, it's pretty immense. What really jumped out at you from those projections?
Well, the headline number itself, 350,000 to 400,000 new roles by 2027. That certainly grabs your attention. Engineering, construction, operations, it's across the board.
Huge numbers.
But when you dig a bit deeper, the specific pinch points become really clear. Electrical engineers, yes, high demand. Makes sense.
Sure.
But the critical one, licensed electricians. That statistic, about 42% of providers having multiple electrician vacancies open for 6 months or more.
Wow, 6 months.
Yeah. That really tells you something about a fundamental constraint on growth.
Why do you think that specific role is such a bottleneck? Is it just not enough people going into the trades?
That's likely part of it. Perhaps an aging workforce in skilled trades generally, combined with, the very specific high-stakes demands of data center electrical systems. It's not your standard wiring job.
No, I imagine not. And it's interesting how this competition is showing up financially. Signing bonuses for construction managers?
Yeah.
That's something you usually associate with, software developers or tech startups.
Exactly. It signals a real shift. Data center companies are now directly competing for talent with industries that, historically had deeper pockets or flashier offers, especially up front.
So they have to adapt their whole approach.
Absolutely. Reevaluating compensation, benefits, the whole package. It's not just about posting a job ad anymore. You actively need to lure these skilled people in.
And that seems to be driving some, pretty creative recruitment tactics.
Definitely.
Partnerships with technical colleges, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsoring visas, okay, looking globally.
Mm.
But then you see things like teach-ins at gaming conventions.
Right. Not the first place you'd think of.
Or pop-up hiring hubs right near the construction sites. It feels like they're really having to think outside the traditional recruitment box.
They absolutely are. And this ties into another crucial point, how the skills themselves are changing because of new tech.
Ah, good point. Like AI.
Exactly like AI. Generative AI servers, they consume vastly more power. We're talking, 5 to 10 times legacy blades?
That much. Wow.
Yeah. So traditional air cooling just doesn't cut it anymore for that density. This is driving adoption of things like direct-to-chip liquid cooling.
So liquid literally cooling the processor itself.
Precisely, instead of just cooling the air around it. And that plus things like high-density optics for networking fundamentally changes what's needed from your MEP folks, mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Right. It's not just the standard toolkit anymore. The article mentioned needing expertise in thermal fluid dynamics.
Yes, understanding how heat moves in liquids. And safe handling of specialized coolants, the chemicals involved.
Okay.
Plus, increasingly really precise skills like fiber optic splicing. It's becoming a much more specialized and nuanced skill set.
So traditional electricians or HVAC techs might need significant upskilling.
They do, and the value of having people with these specific skills is becoming really quantifiable. That stat about an 18% drop in unplanned downtime just by adding one dedicated liquid cooling tech per hall.
18% is huge in that world.
It's massive. So you see companies pushing proactive upskilling, vendor-agnostic micro-credentials, cross-training existing staff to bridge those gaps.
And those onboarding solutions sounded quite smart too. Starter kits with practice manifolds, augmented reality guides.
Yeah, bringing onboarding down from months to weeks. In this market, speed to competency is a serious competitive edge.
Makes sense. But as you said, just hiring fast isn't the whole picture. You need a sustainable pipeline.
Exactly. Which brings us back to apprenticeships.
Feels a bit old school, but seems like it's making a necessary comeback.
Very necessary and incredibly effective. The example cited a hyperscaler cutting electrician vacancies by 60% with a 4-year paid program. That speaks volumes.
60%, that's transformative.
It shows the power of long-term investment in people. It's not just about recruitment, it's cultivation.
So are companies really starting to budget for talent development like they budget for, say, new server racks?
The smart ones are. There's this growing recognition that talent is infrastructure, in a way. You see it also in things like rotational digital infrastructure fellowships programs designed to fast-track people into critical roles, maybe shaving a year or two off readiness time.
Interesting.
And also tapping into the community colleges, adding quick, industry-focused badge programs, veterans groups helping map military skills. It's about broadening the pool and committing to development. The key takeaway really is budget for talent development with the same rigor you budget for the physical plant.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Sustainability. We hear a lot about it with data centers, energy use, water use. How does this connect to the talent crunch?
It connects in a really significant way, actually. It's becoming a competitive advantage in attracting talent.
How so?
Well, first, the drive towards carbon-negative pledges means sustainability isn't just PR anymore. It's strategic. You're seeing sustainability officers integrated right into planning.
Okay.
And that creates demand for specific skills. Facilities engineers who understand water usage effectiveness, or WUE.
Right, measuring water efficiency.
Exactly. Or people skilled in negotiating power purchase agreements for renewables, or managing grid interactive battery storage. These are becoming core competencies.
But it's more than just the technical skills, isn't it? The article mentioned it being a draw for younger generations.
Absolutely. Purpose matters, especially for Gen Z and millennial talent. Highlighting a genuine commitment to sustainability, to climate goals, it can really move the needle. That figure, 27% higher, offer acceptance rates for companies emphasizing climate literacy.
27%, that's substantial.
It is. It shows that framing net zero goals not just as a target, but as a shared mission, creates a powerful cultural advantage.
So making it part of the company identity.
Yes, and finding ways to make it engaging. Gamifying carbon savings, rewarding innovative ideas from staff. It embeds sustainability into the culture.
Now, beyond getting people in the door, keeping them is just as vital, especially on those big, high-pressure construction projects.
Crucial. Retention is often overlooked, but it's key for project success. And there's a serious side to this, too.
The well-being aspect.
Yes, particularly mental health in construction. The article noted the higher suicide rates among tradespeople, which is sobering.
Definitely.
So proactive initiatives aren't just nice-to-haves. Peer support networks, mandatory rest schedules, even on-site counselors, these are becoming essential.
And there's a business case too, right? Not just an ethical one.
A strong one. Reducing turnover, improving safety. The article mentioned a reported 15% reduction in project turnover linked to these programs.
15% saved turnover is significant.
And when you think about project delays costing potentially millions per day.
Up to $3 million a day, it said.
Exactly. Suddenly, the ROI on well-being programs looks very, very clear. Plus, other strategies like wellness days, rotating tough assignments, celebrating safety wins, it all contributes.
Okay, let's talk data. It seems HR is getting more analytical in this space, mirroring how they plan capacity.
Yes, it's moving beyond gut feel. Sophisticated modeling tools, similar to what they use for forecasting server needs, are being applied to people data.
So predicting talent needs more accurately.
That's the goal. These scenario engines can factor in all sorts of variables, permit timelines, wage inflation in a specific area, even commute times to forecast where the talent gaps will be.
And flag potential problems early, like those manager dashboards showing red zone labor categories.
Exactly. It allows for proactive planning instead of reactive scrambling. And a reported benefit 12 to 15% faster project delivery speeds.
That's a direct impact on the bottom line.
Huge. It makes the case for integrating workforce planning data right into the main infrastructure management dashboards. Treat talent as a core KPI alongside power and cooling.
Makes total sense. Finally, culture and brand. It's not just about the money or the tech specs anymore, is it?
Not at all. In such a competitive market, culture can be the deciding factor. It's that invisible magnet.
What are candidates looking for specifically?
They're doing their homework. What's the company's real stance on diversity, on climate action, on community impact? These things matter.
So companies need to be authentic about it.
Absolutely. and showcase it, sharing real employee success stories, creating relatable role models that boosts referrals. Using things like VR site tours or behind-the-scenes content can also make these careers, which can seem a bit abstract, feel more tangible and appealing. Employer branding is a strategic asset now.
And one last piece, remote work. How does that fit into data centers, which seem inherently physical?
Well, not everything requires hands-on presence all the time. Especially for edge facilities or remote sites, there's a growing reliance on remote support.
Using things like wearable cameras, mixed reality.
Exactly. An expert technician can effectively be on-site virtually, guiding local hands.
What are the benefits there?
Big ones. Access to a much wider talent pool the expert doesn't need to live nearby. Faster repairs that reported 22% reduction in mean time to repair is significant.
Yeah.
And potentially greater workforce diversity.
So those remote tools are becoming essential equipment.
They really are. It's part of rethinking how these facilities are operated and maintained in a world where talent is scarce and distributed.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. The article really brought it home. The future of data centers isn't just about silicon and cooling pipes.
No, it hinges fundamentally on the people. Design, construction, operations. It's all human-driven.
And it's clear that being proactive and, frankly, innovative about talent strategy isn't just an HR function anymore. It's central to business strategy.
Absolutely. We've talked about apprenticeships, upskilling, well-being, using data smartly. The approaches are becoming as sophisticated as the tech itself.
So the final thought for you listening is, as these critical industries keep evolving so rapidly, what role will talent strategy play? How central will it be to enabling that ongoing innovation and growth?
It's a fascinating crossroads, isn't it? Human capital meeting technological progress head-on. Definitely something we'll keep watching.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of HR Game Changers. Until next time, keep innovating, keep learning, and keep changing the game.